At this time, we'll ask Father Zachary to please come forward to give us our invocation. If everybody would stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Father Zachary.
Let us pray. O God, who created and govern all things well, who are good and are the source of all that is good, we thank you for your many blessings, and we ask your continued blessings upon us and upon those dear to us. You have entrusted to us the care of our neighbors, especially those who depend upon our help, our resources, our guidance, and our goodwill. And so we ask that you give us your wisdom and the light of your grace, that we may properly discern the needs of all the people and families, residents and visitors who are affected by the work done here. Move us to strive to fulfill those needs to the best of our ability with commitment and devotion. Heavenly Father, we ask that you enlighten us and inspire us. Give us generosity of spirit and the courage to use well the gifts that you have given us at the service of others, to promote true human flourishing, the common good for each and for all, and the health and welfare of each person in body, mind, and spirit. Again, we give you thanks and ask for your blessing upon us as we strive to do your holy will, which is always for the good of all. Order the beginnings of our work, direct its progress, and bring it to fulfillment, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Council, in your packets tonight, you have the minutes for the February 20th meeting, regular session, the February 13th and February 20th work sessions. What is your pleasure concerning these minutes?
I move that we accept the minutes.
I second the motion.
We have a motion second that we accept the minutes as submitted. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by the usual sign. All those opposed, it is unanimous. Council, you have in front of you the agenda for this evening. Do we have any additions?
Mr. President, I move that we adopt the agenda as submitted with a few additions here. After, I want to add the following item in new business after Ordinance 030618. That would be the introduction of Ordinance 030618A. Then also I want to add the following item in new business after Resolution 030618A. That would be the introduction and call for consideration of Resolution 030618B. I've distributed these ordinances and resolutions to each of you in the work session, so you should have them in your packet. Also, before accounts payable, we need to add a request from Jonathan Tullos from WEDC. He wants to address the council with a request.
Okay. Council, any other additions or subtractions? If you approve of this, do I hear a motion that we approve this agenda?
I make a motion we approve the agenda with the additions.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda with the additions. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by the usual sign. The agenda is approved. This evening we have Mr. Eric Bradley representing the Church with You, who is requesting to address the council to obtain a permit to hold his 4th annual egg drop on Saturday, March the 31st at 1 p.m. Mr. Bradley, you see it.
Thank you so much for your time. We're looking to host our 4th annual egg drop. We partnered with the city the past couple of years using their facilities to provide a day where we get hundreds and thousands of eggs all over the field and drop a few thousand from a helicopter. Basically the way we've done it in the past and the way we're looking to do it again this year is dividing them up into age groups. Everybody in the stands. We've got approval from Billy and the Parks and Rec to use Bates Memorial. Having them in the stands, eggs on the field, helicopter flies over, drops them. After the helicopter disappears, we escort the kids down per age group, line them up, give them the go. They suck them up like vacuum cleaners.
Chief Jones, is everything okay?
Yes, sir. It's pretty much the same as the last few years, except the locations change.
Okay.
In fact, it's going to be easier for us to secure that there than where it was before, and parking shouldn't be an issue. So, it's a really exciting time for the kids.
Yeah.
It's really a nice thing.
Okay.
I got 2.5-year-old granddaughter now, so I can bring her.
That'll work. Chief Harry?
I agree, it's a better location on this.
Okay, we have this request. Do I hear a motion that we grant the request?
So moved.
We have a motion moved. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in any discussion? All those in favor of granting this request, please indicate by the usual sign. It is unanimous.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Appreciate it. At this time, we will have the privilege of the floor. Anyone wishing to address the council may do so at this time. Please be advised you have a 3-minute limit. And if you would come forward and please give what you will be presenting to Mr. Dean. We'll go in the order in which you. We'll take y'all in the order that y'all signed in. Reverend Woolridge.
Thank you. Mr. President, Mr. Mayor, just a few short months ago, the city was privileged as a result of the resignation of Mayor Boswell and his elevation to the governor's cabinet that the then president of city council became mayor. And for those of us in this community, by and large across race lines, found it to be a wonderful thing. Especially among the black community, we are exceptionally proud. And so tonight I come with some concern that I raised previously to this body with regard to any suggestions, any intention of trying to move the responsibilities from the mayor's office into either city clerk, treasurer, or city manager, whatever title it might be given. Let me just say that I was troubled when recently the council changed from the rotation of president to a single person that will probably now you, sir, serve until 2020, although the council can do whatever it wants subsequently. I think it is unfortunate that each area here represented will not have the opportunity to have their council representative to serve in the leadership position of this council. I have my own beliefs as to why that may have been done. I'm prepared to share them with you and tell you that I believe that in part the reason may have been the surprise of elevation of Mayor Cooper to this office, and to ensure, because I think some may have looked at him, made some determination of his age and whether he would run again, that if anything happened, we were not going to have the opportunity to have whomever was president in the rotation series to become mayor. That's what I believe. I also want to say that any attempt to remove the responsibilities of the mayor back to city council in the manner that it was previously is ill-advised. I think that the city council should review this very closely, very carefully, because I think that it will serve, it will not serve this community well. One of the privileges and one of the good things about whoever sits in the office of mayor is to be able to try and find those persons that best serve the city. The other thing that happens here is Enterprise is well served by heads of departments of all of the city departments here, all of them. And the advice for which they give to the mayor helps him to be able to make those decisions. Also, because we live in a town as small as this one, it's not too hard to hear stuff floating around. And what has now come across my desk also is various meetings that are taking place in the city, absent city council, where 2 or more city council persons may be present. If that is true, surely I don't need to remind this body that that is wrong and illegal, that 2 or more persons of city council cannot meet. I even know that a member of my own church has been in those meetings. And so my concern is this, that we do, one, what is right. I only have 3 minutes and I regret that, so let me, and don't tell my congregation that I can do this in 3 minutes. I don't want them to be misled.
Actually, 30 seconds.
Okay, in 30 seconds. I invite you at your leisure to read Esther chapter 7. And there you will find a story of Haman, who was making an attempt to kill the Jews. And when he sought after trying to kill Mordecai and the Jews, Esther was the one who shared with the king what had happened. The king became enraged, and the very gallows that he built to have Mordecai hung, the king hung him on those very gallows. My grandmother used to say it a different way. The ditch you dig for someone else may be the very ditch you fall in yourself. I urge council to look very closely at this, whatever their plans may be and their suggestions in making any changes. One of the regrets I do have about the African American community is this, that we're not as proactive as we should be, but we are reactionary. And I assure you that we can get this community to understand some things that may be happening that are not fair, not proper, not right, and are prepared to certainly visit with this chamber with regularity to ensure that the best interest of this city is always first and foremost. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Reverend.
Sorry, City Council, Mayor. My name is Forrest Johnson. I live at 301 Iroquois Road. Represent 4 or 5 families there on Iroquois Road. 7 or 8 years ago, we petitioned the city to put in a stop sign. You guys looked at it and put it in down at the south end, closer to Dixie. What's happening now is Iroquois between Chickasaw and Dixie is being used as a conduit to go to Shellfield Road from the west side of town, and from Shellfield Road to Cairns or to Fort Rucker. 25, 30 miles an hour, 20 miles of speed limit. People are coming down over that hill, but right at between Mohawk and Comanche. I've had policemen out there ticketing people at 45 and 50. I can certainly entertain it again and get a petition like I did last time, but I'm just letting you know that it needs to be fixed. We have people coming down there. It used to be just in the mornings, people going to work, either coming from Fort Rucker or going to Shellfield, or from Shellfield area communities going to Fort Rucker, and then in the afternoons. But now with the addition of several of the bars that have came up on Rucker Boulevard, the added places, now we're starting to get people late at night drinking, driving around that way to avoid the policemen on Rucker Boulevard. The cops are doing a great job, but people are using the neighborhood now to get away from them, and they're coming in there at all hours of the night, and they're not doing 20, 30. We have a lot of people that do walking. We have a lot of people that have dogs. We have a lot. Still, it's a small. Still have young kids in this part of Enterprise, and we're going to have some problems there. Which this is getting worse. I would really like to get a stop sign specifically in around Mohawk or Comanche. That's at the arc of the hill as it goes down down Iroquois towards Dixie.
Okay.
They will roll down there, and if they're drunk, they'll just roll right through the stop sign, which is down near Sioux. We need a second sign there. I know Enterprise doesn't like speed bumps. That would be the ultimate thing, but another stop sign would be great. Thank you for your time and attention, sir. Ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good
Thank
night.
you.
Hi, good evening. My name is John Whitfield, and I would like to discuss to the City Council with Sunday liquor sales. For right now, there's no acceptable choice of eating establishments in Enterprise on Sunday. Most, if not all, of the franchise and also the eating establishments are closed, which means if you want a good dinner, you probably have to go to Dothan if you want to go to a franchise restaurant. The only franchise restaurant in Enterprise that is open on Sunday happens to be Ruby Tuesday, which they serve no alcohol on it, which is no big thing. However, the importance of that is that the other franchises know that alcohol is not served on Sunday in Enterprise. Therefore, you will not see a franchise coming to this town. One of the major reasons that franchises knock places coming out is they do not have alcohol on 7 days a week. Alcohol to an establishment is a profit margin. It's not the food that's the problem. If you don't have alcohol sales, or if you do have alcohol sales in Enterprise, you will keep the diners in town on Sundays to buy meals and possibly in sports bars. Cities with alcohol sales attract more meetings, conferences, and conventions than cities that don't, particularly if they go over the weekend. The city of Mobile a few years back had 0 conventions one full year, while the cities of Pensacola and Biloxi on each side of them had multiple conventions. When they went to the Congress, to the legislator, and had liquor sales approved on Sunday, they are now running a very good convention business down there. I personally had a military reunion of only about 30 people, and I was going to have them here in Enterprise. But this is the reason I took them down and actually went down to Mobile. That's where I found out most of my information on this. So how many other meetings, how many other reunions are we missing? Not only that, if the restaurants come down here, that's more jobs, more positions for the people, and the places that we have now will stay open on Sunday. That's more hours for those who are working. If the City Commission were to vote in favor of allowing the citizens to vote, not just the City Commission, but let's let the citizens vote on this, you can get together with the city attorney, who at that point can go ahead and draw up a proposed constitutional amendment, give it to the state legislature, and if approved, we'll come back and we can have a vote on it. And hopefully, if this is done expediently, we can probably have it on like the November election time. But let the citizens vote on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Whitfield.
you.
Thank all of you for coming forward this evening, and we'll take what you have said under advisement. Next, we have a review and consider ordinance 18. This ordinance has been tabled repeatedly. What is the council's wishes concerning this ordinance this evening?
I move we indefinitely postpone this ordinance.
We have a motion that we indefinitely postpone this ordinance.
I second it.
We have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor of postponing this ordinance indefinitely, please use the normal sign. It is unanimous. At this time, we will have a public hearing in consideration of ordinance 02-06-18. This is a call for a public hearing prior to the consideration of ordinance 02-06-18, providing for the rezone of property owned by Enterprise Joint Alabama Venture, LNC, from R75A residential highway located on the corner of Freedom Drive and Rucker Boulevard. If there's anybody here to speak for or against this, we ask them to come forward at this time. Council, what is your wishes concerning this ordinance?
I make a motion that we accept ordinance 02-06-18.
Second.
We have a motion and second that we accept this ordinance. Any discussion? All those in favor by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Have a call. This is a call for a public hearing concerning the request from CEC RBP Enterprises LLC ABA Red Brick Pizza for a retail and beer and wine on and off premises license located at 847 Boll Weevil Circle, Suite 117. At this time, we'll ask those that wish to speak for or against this request, please come forward at this time. Council, what are your wishes concerning this request?
Move that we accept the request.
We have a motion that we accept. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second that we accept the request. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by the normal sign. It is unanimous. This is a call for a public hearing on the request from Walgreen Company, Rite Aid 07093, for a beer and wine off-premises license located on 903 Rucker Boulevard. Is there anyone that wishes to come speak for or against this request? Council, what is your pleasure concerning this request?
I make a motion to grant the request.
We have a motion to grant the request.
Second it.
We have a second. All those in favor of granting the request, please signify by the normal sign. It is unanimous. Introduced for the record a recommendation from the Enterprise Planning Commission to approve the following request for the rezoning of property. A request from Ross Cotter Jr. to rezone property from B1, which is General Business District, to R75A Residential located at 0 Apache Drive. We want to introduce this ordinance this evening. We will hold this over to our regular meeting on April the 3rd, at which time we will hold an open hearing. At this time, we have on our agenda the appointment of a tourism.
Point of order.
I'm sorry.
We introduced ordinance 03-06-18A. It was added.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Want to introduce Ordinance 03-06-18A. This ordinance is an ordinance of the City of Enterprise, Alabama, to designate the departments of Public Works, Parks and Recreation, Human Resources, Tourism, Main Street Communication, Engineering Services, and offices of the City of Enterprise, Alabama, and to require the council of the City of Enterprise to elect and appoint officers for such office. This ordinance will lay over until March the 20th at the regular meeting of the City Council. At this time, we have the nomination and the selection of a tourism director. Council, what is your wishes concerning the tourism appointment?
I'd like to make a motion, we appoint Ms. Tammy Dewar to that Office of Tourism, Main Street.
We have a motion for Tammy Dewar. Do we have any other nominations?
I second it.
It is second. The motion is made to select Tammy Dewar, and we have a second. Any discussion?
Should, Mr. President, should we include in the motion the adoption of Resolution 03-06-18, providing for the appointment of Director of Tourism Main Street? That resolution is in our packet.
Oh, yes, we will. We will.
So, motion to amend the amendment?
We have a motion to amend the amendment.
I mean, not the motion.
The motion. Do we hear a second?
Second.
We have a second to amend the motion. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Okay. We have the introduce and call for consideration Resolution 03-06-18, providing for the appointment of a Director of Tourism in Main Street. We have a motion for Ms. Tammy Dewar and a second for Ms. Tammy Dewar. Any discussion? All those in favor of Ms. Tammy Dewar, please signify by the normal sign. At this time, we would like to ask Ms. Dewar to please come forward, and we will ask Mayor Cooper to please administer the oath of office. And I'd like for all the council members to please stand. Ms. Dewar, we're happy to have you on board. On our agenda this evening, we have the introduction of Resolution 3-06-18B. This resolution is to introduce and call for Resolution 03-16-18B, a resolution to hire Broadman, Carr, Pedalos, Watkins, and Ogle PC, whereas the City of Enterprise desires to obtain the services of Broadman, Carr, Pedalos, Watkins, and Ogle PC. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council, on behalf of the Council, and for the benefit of the City of Enterprise, retains the services of Broadman, Carr, Pedalos, Watkins, and Ogle PC to provide assistance and advice to the City Council for the benefit of the City of Enterprise. We have that resolution. What is the council wishes?
I move we adopt Resolution 0306-18B.
We have a motion to adopt the resolution. Do I hear a second?
I second it.
We have a motion and second to adopt the resolution. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by the normal sign. The resolution has passed. We need to review and consider Resolution 03-618A. This is a call for consideration of Resolution 03-618A, providing for the continuation of the Summer Food Service Program through funding from the State Department of Education. The program will serve between 18 and 1,000 children. All expenditures related to the program are reimbursable to the city. We have this resolution. Council, what is your desire?
I make a motion we adopt resolution 0306-18A.
We have a motion that we adopt. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President, I would just like to say that in passing, this is what we call a run-through, and it's no surprise that all thousands of children wouldn't possibly have anything to eat in a sense because their parents are working, and in some instances they serve breakfast as well as a noontime meal, and over in the evening sometimes snacks. So many children, have a chance to eat because of the fact they are not in school. And this is a very good program, and I'm glad to see it pass.
It's an excellent program, and it benefits all the children of Enterprise. All those in favor signify by the normal sign. All those opposed, it is unanimous. We have introduce and call for consideration of the approval of task order number 38 to Poly Incorporated for the preliminary design of headworks and screening channels at the Northeast Wastewater Treatment Plant. Total payment for the services will not exceed $12,500. Councilman, what are your wishes concerning?
I make a motion that we accept task order number 38 from Poly.
We have a motion that we accept task order number 38 from Poly. Do I hear a second?
Second motion.
We have a motion and second that we approve this task order. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by the normal sign. It is unanimous. We have a request to purchase equipment. This is to introduce and call for consideration of the request from Public Works Director Michael Walters to purchase an Ameripump Sykes 8-inch GP 200M bypass pump from Thompson Caterpillar in the amount of $55,600. The equipment at the special pricing through the National Intergovernmental Purchasing Alliance includes a new pump with hoses and fittings and freight. Council, what is your pleasure concerning this request?
Mr. President, I'd like for Michael to come and address the council and kind of inform us about this and what it's about.
Michael.
Thank you, Council. This pump, as y'all well know, a few weeks ago we had a pretty major failure of 3 pumps at our Northeast Wastewater Treatment Facility. That pumping area, as well as 18 pumping stations we have within the city, needs the capability to pump almost over 2,500 gallons per minute. We do not currently have a bypass pump that can do that. So when we were in the situation, luckily some quick acting, we had to rent one at a considerable cost to us. If we go into this situation again, we would have to do the same. This is a bypass pump that could fulfill the need throughout the city in the case of failures, power outages, anything like that, where we cannot provide pumping capabilities for our wastewater. in the city. So a lot of our major subdivisions do run off a pumping station. So this is just a form of a safety mechanism that we can use all over the city and perform these tasks and not worry about wastewater runoff, sanitary sewer overflows that are reportable to ADEM and EPA.
Michael, does this pump come on a trailer?
This is going to be trailer mounted so that we can bring this wherever we need to. It's not a skid mounted where we have to lift it or do anything. We could load this up in a minute's notice and go to where we need to. It also has a sound attenuator so that if we're using it in the middle of a subdivision, you will not hear the roar of a 100 horsepower Caterpillar engine. So it does help lower the decibels to ensure that that our citizens can sleep at night whenever they're having those issues.
Do you know how long it would take for it to get here?
It will be coming in 3 weeks, and they will provide a trainer to come with us to make sure that we can operate the new pump properly.
Mr. President, Mike, this is different than the one we've been renting?
This is the one that we've been renting is a 6-inch where we had to use multiple adapters and run it at a very high RPM. We were able to get 8-inch where we can run up to 3,200 GPM, and we can run it at a little bit slower speed. But we also have one lift station that has 160 foot of hydraulic head, which basically the lowest point to the highest point it's pumping is 160 feet. That pump that we had could not pump.
The reason I asked, you'd mentioned in a previous work session that we could get a credit for the rental.
And we looked at that. We did have $3,200 in credit. We would have gotten a 6-inch pump at the same price. We were able to go to 8-inch pump, increase our capabilities of the pumping for the same price. Now we did lose the $3,200, but if we went to that same pump that was capable of what this was, it would be another $12,000. So I feel like that $3,200, not getting that as a credit, to be able to use it as a capable at all of our locations, not just some, it was more beneficial than being able to apply that credit.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Michael, while you're here, I'd like to, again, to publicly say how much we appreciate the job your people did when all of that went down. I mean, it could have been real bad. But
well, I will pass on that praise. I'll tell you, we are lucky to have the guys that we have. Like I said, we've got over 60 years of experience running wastewater treatment facilities. Now that time's going to run out here pretty soon on some of these guys, and it's a lot of beneficial knowledge that these guys do possess, and they are our last line of defense. So I will pass on that. They did a wonderful job, and that's just a portion of what they do every day.
Thank you. Council, what are your is your pleasure concerning this request to purchase equipment?
Make a motion, we grant the request to purchase the pump.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by the normal sign. It is unanimous. We have at this time, we'd like to ask Jonathan Tullis from the Enterprise Centennial Committee to please come forward and give us kind of an update as to the Enterprise and the Centennial.
Mayor and Council, I appreciate the opportunity to address you. As you said, for those of you in the audience that don't know, 2019 is going to be the bicentennial for the state of Alabama. It will also be the centennial of the Boll Weevil Monument. As such, and without, in the absence of a tourism director, I've been working closely with Jason Wright, the mayor, and Enterprise Chamber of Commerce on various issues to support the centennial for the Boll Weevil Monument and that bicentennial committee. At this time, we have several special projects that we have been working on and would like to request from the city some money to support that in the amount of $75,000, which we will use over the course of the next 7 or 8 months at the mayor's discretion, and working with the tourism office and Chamber of Commerce to accomplish those tasks.
Okay. We have that request for $75,000 for the Centennial, Enterprise Centennial. Is there any questions that you have of Michael? Jonathan?
To clarify, your request would be to specifically take that from the tourism money market account, correct? Not from the general fund?
Yes. Correct.
Anyone else? Do I hear a motion that we grant the request?
I'll make a motion that we grant the request.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second that we grant the request for $75,000 to go towards the Enterprise Centennial. All those in favor signify by the normal sign. Thank you, Jonathan.
Get
Thank you,
Ms.
John.
Dewar on board.
She's gonna have to hit the pavement running. So. Council, you have before you to introduce and call for consideration the accounts payable A for February the 20th, February 2018 in the amount of $663,606.04. Of that, the City of Enterprise is $546,294.74. The Water Board is $117,311.30. What is your pleasure concerning the accounts payable?
I move that we accept accounts payable.
Second it.
We have a motion and a second that we accept the accounts payable. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by the normal sign. We have before you contract billing. This is to introduce and call for consideration of the following contract billings. Bullard Excavation Incorporated, estimate number 6, final $4,497.78 for site improvements at Bates Memorial Stadium. Barge Wagner, Sumner and Cannon Incorporated, invoice number 159523 in the amount of $7,681.95 for planning, design, FY17 airport parallel taxiway rehab. We have Geisler Contracting, estimate number 8, final of $503.73 for construction of 2014 TAP sidewalk project. We have Edwin Connor and Associates, invoice number 12 in the amount of $2,800 for contract administration services CDBG demolition project. Council, what are your wishes concerning accounts payable? Contract billing.
I move we pay contract billings.
Do I hear a second?
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second that we accept contract billing. All those in favor signify by the normal sign. Thank you. It is unanimous. Council, you have before you your travel request from the Police Department Officer Pelicino Diaz, FTO Kevin Sanders, for the Gangs and Drugs Seminar March the 13th through 15th, 2018 at Camp Shelby, Mississippi. There's no cost for training, and meals and lodges is provided. We have Officer Drew Shelton, Officer Derek Mock, Interview Interrogation Seminar March the 26th through the 30th, 2018 at Camp Shelby, Mississippi. No cost for training or meals, and lodging is provided. Officer Hank Walters, Mexican Cartels and Violence Seminar April the 4th through the 5th, 2018 at Camp Shelby, Mississippi. There's no cost for training or meals, and lodging is provided. We have Officer Joel Lingard and Officer Danielle Schultz, Interview and Interrogation Seminar March the 19th through the 23rd, 2018, Baldwin County, Alabama. The estimated cost of this is $911. Officer Amber Darbrook and Officer Stacy Portree and Officer Tina Johnson, Advanced Interview Interrogation, April the 16th through the 20th, 2018, Camp Shelby, Mississippi. There's no cost for the training of meals, and lodging is provided. Officer Jerry Butterworth Alabama Gang Investigations Association Training, April the 25th through the 27th, 2018, in Oxford, Alabama. Estimated cost is $310. Council, what are your wishes concerning these requests?
Move that we accept the travel request as submitted.
We have a motion that we accept the travel request as submitted. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of granting the travel request, normal sign. It is unanimous. Council, as you know, we have a vacancy on our water board, and we are calling this evening for nominations for filling the 6-year term on the Enterprise Water Board to fill the expired term board seat of Ben Beckham. What are your wishes? Do we have any nominations?
Mr. President, I nominate Ben Beckham to remain on the water board.
We have a nomination for Ben Beckham to remain on the water board. Any other nominations? All those in favor of appointing Ben Beckham back to the water board, please signify by the normal sign. At this time, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Parks and Recreation, Youth Baseball, 10 under, 12 under, 1 the district, and 18 under, runner-up. All 3 teams qualified to go to the state basketball tournament in Trussellville, Alabama. Youth baseball season to start April 2nd. Youth softball season to start April 2nd. Men's softball, 16, and season to start April 5th. Church youth softball, 17, and season to start April 3rd. We are to host the Dixie Youth 1600 South Coach Pitt State Tournament starting July 5th, and the Dixie Boys State Tournament for ages 13 and 14-year-olds starting July 13th. Tournament is hosted February 24th and 25th. Youth Baseball Tournament, 43 teams, February 23rd and 24th. ARPA Youth Basketball District, 17 teams. March 3rd, Youth Softball Tournament, 16 teams. Tournaments for March 10th through 11th, Youth Baseball Tournaments, March 17th, 18th, Youth Baseball Tournament, March 24th, Youth Softball Tournament, March 24th and 25th, Youth Baseball Tournament, March 31st to April 1st, Youth Baseball Tournament. Engineering Department permits approved single family attached, residential additions, commercial additions, and new commercial. Nuisance property investigated for 61, verbal contact 2, notification mail 26. Properties in progress as 51, set for court 1, direction from the city council 3. From the water department, there was 16 new water meter services installed in the month of February. The water department has completed its annual aquifer recharge program. This will prepare the system for the spring and summer season. I want to reiterate to Billy and his group, whenever we have these tournaments and whatnot, our motels and our eating facilities and whatnot are well used. Last week when they had the volleyball tournament going on over at the high school and something else was going on, all rooms were almost filled. So it's good when we can bring business like this to town, and we will continue as the department sees fit to invite and to keep this going. And I think I thought I recognized a Boy Scout, but I guess he's gone now. But I'd like to thank everybody for coming. And congratulations, Mr. Tabbert.
Ms. Rich?
Thank everyone for coming, and thank you, Reverend Woolridge and Mr. Johnson and Mr. Whitfield for your concerns tonight, and congratulations to you, Ms. Dew, on your position.
I mentioned this at our last council meeting, but last week, Mr. Cooper, Mayor Cooper signed a proclamation declaring a day of service. March the 17th, we have had numerous civic clubs, churches, youth groups to sign up, so it's looking like it's going to be a great day. It's not too late to get involved. Thank you for coming.
I'd just like to thank you for being here, and Mr. Dewar, glad to have you on board with tourism.
Tammy, welcome aboard. Congratulations. Appreciate everybody who addressed council. Reverend Woolridge, I will not dignify some of your insinuations with a response, but I will say that I look forward to the policy debate that we've got ahead of us. Certainly has nothing to do with race, but I welcome your input. I'd love for you to come meet with me and sit down with you and explain to you why I feel this is the best way for the city to go. We just want to enjoy the same authority every council prior to this council enjoyed. And like I said, I look forward to having this debate with this body here. I think
I want to thank everybody for coming this evening. Hope you have a safe trip home. Appreciate it. Thank you, Reverend Woolridge. Got some things to sign.
Yeah, man.
Do we all have things to sign or just Perry?
These are just me, I think.